Closing remarks.
Thank you. I just wanted to tell everybody that we really appreciate you hanging tough with us today. We know we don't give you many breaks, but the little ones that you get, I think they go a long way, and hope so anyways. My observation is that after 2 days of the AREI Summit, we are now in the middle of the conversation. And we hope that, I hope that the conversation will go now forward to a conclusion at the end of the day on Thursday. We have some very serious issues that we're considering here. I'm delighted that best practices in the oil and gas industry just took the stage here, because it's very important to have all sides represented in any conversation, I think. And I also wanted to thank Sally for bringing the very strong feminine perspective to public lands earlier today. I wanted to comment on that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So,
well, and I just want to say that you know, it's been really intense, even for those of us who put this together and knew what we were headed into. And our staff, we talked to each other a lot, and we said, breaks are for sissies. So we're not going to have any. And but the thing is that we've started to gain so much momentum with AREI that we're having to turn speakers away now. And it's getting to be, you know, it's starting to become a real vetting process, which is wonderful for us. And we want to thank everybody here who has spoken, who has made their way, from some of you from Europe even, to be here with us. And one of the philosophical and strategic things that we think about is that climate change is a whole systems problem, and it needs whole system integrated solutions. So that's why we have so many sectors represented here, so that if you're working just in public lands, you learn all about the financial industry, because there may be something there that you can apply. And what we have found is that that really has paid off. A lot of collaborations have happened out of AREI that are unsuspecting collaboration or partnerships. And it's a real challenge to manage all the conversations so that enough information gets out that people can actually then connect, like tonight, at the reception. So that's a little bit about how we think and how we work behind the scenes to bring all this together. And we're also, I want to say, we're very open to suggestions about people to speak, as well as topics and panels that could come together, but at the same time, we can't guarantee, for the reasons I just said, that, you know, they could actually happen. But it's a very give and take process that we're in now. So I want to, again, just thank you all for being here and staying through the whole day, and just sneaking out and getting coffee and going to the bathroom.
yeah, and I also want to, yeah, thank you. Mention that we're planning already the 2018 summit. Invitations will start going out in mid-July, so we're really going to get ahead of the curve this time around. And you know, you can expect the elevated dialogue. Remember, 2018 will have a midterm election in November, so we're looking at that very closely. We're looking at all of the geopolitics that are surrounding the conversation of renewable energy, energy efficiency, and all energy, including, of course, fossils. So tomorrow morning, we're going to start bright and early at 8 o'clock. Just a couple of housekeeping details here. Rod Richardson has been very kind to offer a freebie transpartisan, can't see what you wrote there, Rod, because you scribbled, but anyway, during the reception, he will be demonstrating how to the right and the left brain, you know, parasympathetic, sympathetic nervous system, can correspond, how that thinking can actually affect how we think politically, I think. And so it's a sort of, to Zane's point, it's a different way of looking at mass balance within the human body. But I've done this exercise with Rod, and it's quite extraordinary, because all of a sudden when you start doing a frisbee toss with both your right and left hand, even if you're right-handed like I am, or if you're left-handed, then all of a sudden you realize that, wait a minute, things aren't working the way that I normally work. So maybe that's a good metaphor for our day, that, you know, things don't always work the way that we think they work, and as we take one step in, or sometimes even a step back, you know, to look at the situation, it can reframe our consciousness, and then we can come up with some new solutions that might be right under our nose that we didn't even see.
And also guide us in our communications, and how we articulate some of these issues that are hugely complex, but we know that we have to distill that complexity in a way that people outside of this room can relate to, those that are not engaged in this every day. That is so critically important now, particularly as we move into the 2018 midterm elections, and then 2020, if we really want things to shift in civil dialogue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it really is going to come down to the fact that we're going to have to not only implement best practices within the fossil fuel industry across the board, everywhere on the planet, but simultaneously with Klaus Lochner's technology and Graciela Chiltoninsky and the others begin to extract the CO2 out of the atmosphere. We've got to put a price point on that carbon. We've got to create the carbon markets for those gases that are out there, and then figure out, because we're smart enough to do that. We are Homo sapiens sapien. That's supposed to be the wise ape, I think, and start getting really wise about the choices that we're making, and that we can do it. And that's one of the reasons why we do convene this summit every year, is to have this conversation so that we can go to the next step, and then we can all take that back to our communities. So I do want to just close this out by saying that we really appreciate those that did come from so far. I know that Keith Tuffley flew in from China last night. Jens came from Copenhagen. Jerome Ringo is in the house. Really appreciate your being here, Jerome, your leadership over all the years. Many others of you, and we know that it's not so easy to get to Aspen, and we're just very, very appreciative, a lot of gratitude.